I mean, that's the thing is that, like, imagine if you're spending $150 for a cheat. I can basically sell you any fucking bolt.
Yeah.
Like, if you believe in energy crystals, I can also sell you the Vortex Tour. And, like, the fucking, at that point, you have basically said, I'm the most gullible person on earth.
It's so true. It's so true. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the podcast, the show dedicated to talking about all the poggers things in life, like music, content creation, and video games. I'm one of your co-hosts, JesseKazam.
And I'm Veritas. The closest I've ever been to being a Kappa gamer since Kappa was not
changed.
Trivial to get.
Exactly. Yeah, dude. Cause I'll put on the Kappa grind or something in my title, and people are like, "Oh, is this your first time getting Kappa?" And I'm like, "No, I've had it like 4 or 5 times. It's just since they made it borderline impossible, this will be my first time."
Yeah, I used to be able to get it
in like a month.
I mean, I used to be able to get Kappa 2 or 3 times in a fucking wipe.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now I'm at I'm level 61. And I am basically 48% of the way through. I just need 300,000 XP.
That is crazy. So tell me about that, because you ripped up a lot. Last week we were on the podcast, you were 58. I'm sure just over the last few days you hit 59. But like 60, you got from 60 to 61 3/4 really fast. Like I know that one quest is 777,000 XP, but like, god dang.
So literally one raid is what got me, because I had a weekly. I believe the weekly, and it was like hand in like 4 bolts and like 7 soap. I think that's what it was. And wait, was that the weekly or was that the daily? Now I don't remember.
Yeah.
But today I finished a weekly. I finished 2 dailies. So that was like 30,000, and then the weekly was yeah, shit, I don't know, like 120,000 XP or something. And then at level 60, you unlock 2 quests. The first one is called the Choice. It's with Fence, and it's the one where you hand over the Epsilon container. So it's just been sitting there in my stash forever, and I finally handed it in. And that gets you like 777,777 XP,
which is
so that
nuts.
Instantly, basically gets you to pretty close to halfway to 62. Yeah. So you go from 60 to 61.5. So now it's 300,000 XP. I just need to get the second half. So
so that quest gets you from 60 to 61 and then some? Interesting.
To 61.5. You skip 60 and you skip half of 61.
Gotcha. That's very interesting. For some reason I thought that quest got you from 60 to like almost 61. But I didn't realize it was the whole level and then some, and then like okay.
Because 61 to 62, I'm halfway, and it says remaining 300K. So that means it's about 600K.
Yeah.
So
god dang. Okay.
Yeah. So literally just 60 to 61 is free.
Yep.
And then all you need, I mean, like 10 daily quests, which is like 3 or 4 days.
Yep.
And or a weekly. And 4 or 5.
Yep.
So
it's so RNG,
I'm really
man.
close.
On a week where you get Pog dailies, it's so you just print XP. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you can get 2 in a row every day and potentially get 3 a few days, that's so much. But if you get really rough ones, my weekly, this one, like I'm just trying to decide if I want to like farm it down. It's not, in theory, it's not hard. It's just kill Rashala 5 times with a headshot. And so it's just like,
I got that one too.
Do I want to play? Yeah, do I want to play that much customs? Because it's like RNG on if he's going to be in the raid, where he's going to be in the raid. Is somebody else going to get to him first? If somebody gets to him first, do they kill Rashala? Because people are always trying to like kill Rashala, or do they kill the guards? If I do run into Rashala, am I in a position to headshot him, or is he running at me and I just kind of have to spray and pray?
Well, they're like the raiders where if you're long distance, they see you before you do, and they hit you easily. And the problem is he needs to spawn. Like the only way you'll get that is either up on the back rocks by the New Gas, or if you're on the bridge on the other side of New Gas, or if he's over by like the fort.
Yeah.
But if he spawns dorms, then there's literally no way unless somehow he stands right next to like the 3rd floor door.
It's really only possible if he's dorms if you kill all the guards first. If you kill all 4 guards first, he runs into a room and hides. And like you can like run past the room, see where he is, and then like pre-fire at head height and you can get him. But if
wait, so it's not. There's no distance.
No,
requirement,
just headshot.
I had 5 headshots over 80 meters.
No, I just have 5 headshots. 5 headshot Rashalas. So that's
gotcha.
It's doable. It's just a lot of customs and a lot of RNG. And I'm just like trying to balance my time. It's like, should I work on my dailies and those other like high level quests like calibration and stuff like that with my time? Or should I just be farming customs hoping to get Rashala spawns? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So I've got one daily. There's a daily where I need to hand over a found in raid, kill a helmet. I saved.
Dude, I saved one too.
I've been saving a lot of items. So I as long as they're found in raid, I have the Ube helmet, the gorilla helmet.
Yeah.
I have a wrist T face shield, a Masca face shield, but not the helmet.
Yeah.
I've just been saving so many found in raid things that I know are harder to find.
Yep.
Just in case I get one of those things. And I've been picking up all kinds of junk that normally I wouldn't pick up just in case I have them for a daily. But
I got a daily to turn in a found in raid kill helmet, and I had one. Like,
nice.
We were playing an interchange raid with Desmond, and he killed Killa, and he was like, "Do you have a found in raid one in your stash?" I was like, "No, why? I did that quest." He was like, "Oh, just in case for a daily." He was like, "Take it." Like a week later, I got the quest, and I was like, "Oh, clutch."
Hell yeah, yeah. So so I don't know. I'm probably not going to do that. Oh well, it depends. So I have another one that's survive on interchange 4 times, extracting through hole in the fence.
Yep.
So maybe I could go in, kill him, and then go hole in the fence.
That one's easy, just annoying. You know what I mean?
That would be 60,000 XP if I could do those in 4 raids. That'd be 60K, and then I still haven't done calibration. I need 8 more headshots. That's why I was going woods earlier, and that's 93,000 XP.
Dude,
so,
and after that, you get Courier, which is plant the 2 Reap IRs, and that's 137,000 XP. I just did. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I completed calibration and did Courier 2 nights ago. On Tuesday night, we did both those, and it's Pog.
Where do you need to plant them?
So one is on the back side, so like the rock side of New Gas, just like there's a trash can there, and it says plant, and it's 30-second plant. And then one is, so the like of Fortress, the kind of construction corner, the one that would be closest to like the old construction. Outside of that, there's a big crane with like the huge stabilizer legs, and you can like tuck in there, and then there's a plant thing, and you plant that for 30 seconds. You don't have to survive. As soon as you plant the second one, it just says quest complete, and that's 137,000 XP.
Oh, sick. So, I mean, yeah, that right there is, I just need 300K. So do a couple more of those quests, and I'll be getting I might be able to get my Kappa tonight.
Dude, that is insane. I'm like 11,000. I'm a goose whisper away from level 58. I got to get those last 2 levels, bro. Ugh.
What the fuck is a goose whisper?
That's a geeks call out for you. That's that Canadian.
Of course, it's a fucking Canadian.
Whisper.
Get a goose whisper
no,
there,
that's
bud?
Silverback, but he's also Canadian, so
yeah, they're all the same.
They're all the same.
Jesus Christ.
See, that's the thing. You're so much farther than me, and you still have those goated quests to complete. Like I need to get on the like rogue farm or something. I need to get better at getting.
It's not even worth it, dude.
I need to get better at getting. Well, that's what I'm saying. All of my quests are done. I need to kill 30 raiders on reserve, and then other than that, it's just dailies and weeklies. But I still have 2.5 levels to go. So it's like I need to get better at getting in raid XP. I'm like churning quests, but I'll get factory. Like 2,000 XP. No, yeah, factory or a rogue farm or raider farm, whatever. Like I just got to do that.
I'm way more successful these days. Like I literally got from 58 to 61 by doing factory.
Yeah.
And then I went to woods today only because it seems like there's like a static spawn for soap in in like the USEC camp area. And you know that there's that one little tent that has like a med bag, stuff spawns on like the 2 picnic tables. That last med bag, I went 3 raids in a row and there was soap in there 3 raids in a row. It's either the luckiest RNG ever. I went in factory and looted every single container, med bag, everything for like 5 hours and didn't find a single fucking soap.
That's crazy.
So I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just a static spawn, or maybe I just got really lucky. But because that's what, that was when I needed. It was like 170,000 XP or whatever for that bolts and soap, and I already had the 4 bolts. So yeah, I'm real close.
Oh, speaking of dailies and weeklies, completely anecdotal evidence, but you know how I've been like not accepting the ones unless a buddy, some random person in chat came in and he was like, hey, I listened to the podcast. I have some anecdotal evidence if you want to hear it. I was like, yeah, sure. He's like, I went the other way. He was like, for like 3 weeks, I accepted every quest and didn't complete a single one. I just wanted to see what would happen. And he's like, now when I get quests, I don't get any rewards. I get money and XP, but I don't get any items. And I was like, interesting.
Is it every? Because if it's every one, then that.
Yeah.
I mean, I would basically take that as.
Yeah, I don't know.
Almost definitive proof.
But I was like, whoa. I was like, that's very interesting. And then he was saying that him and his buddies did some other testing, but it was like I was in a raid and he was posting it and I was trying to read it, so I didn't get everything. But I just remember thinking like, I was always just focused on the numbers, how much XP, how much money, but I hadn't considered that, like, if you know what I mean, he was just like, I'm just getting XP and money. I'm not getting, ETGs or ammos or whatever, like, that people get. I was like, that's interesting. Yeah. So he just went like 3 weeks in a row with not completing a single one just to see what would happen.
Do you have any dailies that are unfinished right now? Because we could compare kind of what we have for rewards. So
I have one, eliminate Sturman from a distance of more than 35 meters. That's my eliminate one. And it's 30,000 XP, 100,000 rubles, an ophthalmoscope, a Nixor lens, and 0.02 Jaeger rep.
Okay, yeah, I've got the one to get the Maska helmet. It's 25,000 XP, 65,000 rubles, 2 OFZ shells, and 2 of the drain cleaner, and the same amount of Jaeger rep.
Yeah.
The other one I have is survive through hole in the fence 4 times, which is infinitely easier. And that one's 29,000 XP, 67,000 rubles, an Ops Core rack headset, one of those like digital Flora 6B13 like level 4 armors, and a ZSH helmet.
Interesting. My other one, my exit the location one, is survive by extracting through the scav lands on reserve 5 times. So find a friendly player scav.
So find a fucking friendly chat member.
Yeah, basically. And that's 27,000. So 3,000 less XP, a little bit less money, 75,000 rubles, drain cleaner, ibuprofen, piles of meds, 0.02 therapist rep. So very similar. I've heard of, and I've seen a few times, like guys like Rengar is like level 71, 72. And like those guys like grind the dailies a lot to try and like, get the XP they want to get up as high. And I've seen his dailies give him 60,000 or more XP, which is nuts.
So I mean,
that might scale with level. That might not necessarily be because he's completed so many. That just might,
good point.
like 46 is a threshold. Maybe freaking 65 is another threshold or something. But I've seen him get mad dailies.
Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see until.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna care. I'm not gonna care about anything when I get Kappa. Like I'm probably not even gonna check my dailies weeklies. Like maybe just to see what the rewards are, but like. I'm not about like just the XP grind to get as high as I can be. I just want Kappa. That's my goal. When I complete that, I'm done. No more quests. Like,
yeah, I had a quick little anecdote. I had one of those things on Factory when I had to kill. One of my dailies was kill 25, I think, like scavs anywhere.
Okay.
Actually, maybe that was my weekly. Because there was like I finished my weekly today, got a new weekly, and then finished that in like 4 raids, like 25 scavs anywhere or whatever. So that was kind of why I was able to get a couple 100,000 XP quick. But so I had killed a few scavs, and I was pretty well kitted out. I think I might have had like an MP7, which has been slapping for me. The MP7 on Factory, I mean that, and actually the AS Val I was using today, and. With a couple of lasers on it, point firing, not aiming, but point firing. I was like killing like chattiest chads. But yeah, so it was one of those scenarios where I was up. Was it 1986 was the call out in Factory? Oh god, that's an old one.
That's an old one. I don't even know.
They might have changed it. But where there's like the platform with a dead scav underneath in that little room.
Oh yeah.
Above that, it used to say 1986 was painted on the wall, but I feel like they changed it.
Yeah.
So there was a guy that was in the spawn down the stairs and around the corner in that back area. I heard him. He ran in there, and then I hear the like breach against the metal door because the guy's like, I'm like, and I went on VoIP. I'm like, well, that was fucking embarrassing, huh? Like, that ain't an exfil, bro.
Dude, he's like, rip.
Yeah, so he was like, dude, I just got an exfil, I got a quest or whatever. I'm like, I mean, I can be cool. I get a factory key if you want. I can, because I spawned in back by gate 1 or gate whatever the back one is. I'm like, I can just unlock it, dude, and help you out. He's like, oh, I don't know what. He asked me, he's like, do you got? Oh, that's why he fucking asked me. He's like, what do you got, like an Alton or and fucking? And I was like, nah, dude. I even said, I'm like, I don't even have a helmet. I just got this MP7. And he's like, I mean, yeah, that'd be cool, dude. So I ran over, unlocked the door, popped me in the head with this fucking Grotch pistol or whatever. I'm like, you piece of shit. And then like everybody in chat and me all sent him a friend request, and he denied all of them. But my name now, it has Veritas in it.
Yeah, okay.
It's kind of like a joke, but yeah, a lot of people have been coming in.
Dude,
like, yeah, that was me.
Have you ever ran like an Ash 12 on factory? That's what I need to see.
Dude, it's insane.
Like, it is the factory gun, bro. Once again, point fire. You can't really ADS with that thing because the recoil is nuts. You just keep it on point fire. It's got a slow enough rate of fire that you can keep it on full, but tap if you want. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I never point fire with it. I always ADS,
bro.
I just aim at their belly button, and it just disintegrates. Them.
I mean, dude, I just had like the blue laser because the blue's like so visible. I just had the blue laser on it, and we did it during the Raider event. And I think me and Seal went like 8 or 9 or 10 raids in a row. And it was great because
you can't put lasers on those, can you?
On the Astros, yeah. There's a rail on both sides. You can't put them on the RFB. You can't put them on the RFB.
Yeah.
The Astro, dude, PS12V, 20 round mags. Oh, and that was the clip I sent you. That ended my streak. We were on an 8 or 9 raid streak with the Ash 12. And that ended where the bullets weren't registering. I freaking ran, like I went in and like, obviously I knew something was up and I ran in for the second mag dump for the meme, for the clip. And then I freaking hatcheted the Raider, and then a PMC comes and I'm out of ammo because I'd wasted it all on the thing and I died. The end of my streak. But I haven't had that happen. I mean, like, cause I don't use shotgun. So I'd never had the shotgun thing, where it's the moving around or the bugged inventory spot, but that was 2 separate mags. I
wonder what that issue was.
And then I genuinely thought I was gonna die trying to hatchet the Raider, but then
I assumed he was gonna one tap you.
But then it fell over dead, and I was like, "What?" And then
it could have been extremely unlucky that like you were straight up desynced until you hatcheted him. Maybe. But to me, I think it's more likely that there was some bug either with the scav, like the Raider, or the
your gun. Because when I pulled the gun back out and hit the PMC, you could see him grunt, and he was like running away like I was hitting him. So I thought, and then I just ran out of ammo. So I was like, maybe if I had pulled my hatchet out earlier and hit the scav in the back of the head, I would have been fine.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking about that. I was like, I want to see Veritas just go ham with an Ash 12 on factory. Like, it's so fun. And you can buy the PS12V, it's expensive. It's like 700 rubles a round, but you can buy like 300 of it. It's not one of those ones where you can buy like 60. It's only 20 round mags and you can buy 300 of it. And you're just like, yes.
Yeah, dude, someone gave me a viewer kit with it, and I survived like 12 raids in a row, all on reserve, going underground, like farming the raiders. It was just like, it just demolishes people, dude. And I feel so confident swinging out and taking an aim duel just because it hits so hard.
It hits 104 flesh damage, I think 45 pen, 46 pen. So it's just like,
most people are wearing level 4 armor, or even level 5 armor. And that's, I think it's like 40% chance to pen. If it's 45, it's probably somewhere between 40 and 50% chance to pen.
Yep.
So yeah. Have you seen the fucking quest? What's it called? At first when I read it, I'm like, yo, this is mad easy. And then I read it again and I was like, oh. And of course I failed it, so I need to restart it. It's called Escort.
Oh yeah. It's the guide plus killing 5 people per map.
4 people. I saw it. I'm like, eliminated 4 PMCs on factory, on customs, shoreline,
You're like,
reserve.
oh.
I'm like, that's so easy. 177,000 XP. I'm like, hell yeah. And people are like, ooh, take another look at it. And then, yeah, I didn't realize it was.
That junk should give you like 500,000 XP. That's ridiculous,
dude.
Bro.
That's fucking nuts. I mean, the guide is hard enough.
Is that the other quest? You said when you get to level 60, you get 2 quests.
That's the other one.
Okay, yeah, I'm never going to do that.
And of course, it's Prop War, and of course, it's one of the ones that as soon as you die, you have to accept it again. I'm gonna do it successfully and be like, oh, I never accepted the quest.
It's the fact that
and then I'll never play the game again.
Doesn't just restart. Yeah, I'm not even gonna try that. When do you get the Snowball Challenge one? That's a quest in the game too. Kill all the scat bosses on 1 life. Maybe that's 65. I know that's a quest. Like I know they added that after Lupo did that whole thing last year.
You're gonna have to start with Killa, I think.
Yeah. It's like the guide. You want to start with labs because like starting with like imagine trying to end on Killa. Imagine getting them all and just like running around the mall, raid after raid after raid.
Until he's just in a random dark corner, and he just one taps you.
Ugh. Yeah, that'd be terrible. No, but no way I'm even going to attempt that. Like, just no way, dude. That's too much stress. The guide stresses me out enough. You know what I mean? Like,
I'll probably just use it as an excuse to go different maps and stuff. But like, if I happen to get lucky, yeah, dude, I don't know. I gotta find whichever's like the newbiest server.
In theory, it's incredible. But it's like let me translate that quest for you. It's like, like explicitly chase after the most broken mechanics of our game without dying 14 raids in a row. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's the trend. It's, if the AI was clutch and the audio was good and like, it was like, oh, this would be fun. Hunt them all down. But it's like, dude, just all the stuff. Killa, Sanitar, hitting you with the Keter from 300 miles away. Like, Sturman with the double taps and the SMV. It's just like, no way am I going to chase after that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe I'll probably mess around with it just because there's nothing else to do. Or I'll get back. I've been doing some more Mario speed runs. Been getting back
I saw
into
that. Yeah.
And actually, Cheese. We had Cheese on here not too long ago. So he has the world record again. I don't know if I talked about that.
We talked about it a little bit, yeah. Because he had held it for so long, too.
Yeah. And I put on Twitter and he responded. So he's going to give me on Monday, actually, a couple hours of coaching.
Hell yeah.
Because I'm like, I spent 800 attempts to get my sub 20.
Yeah.
And then I took 9 or 10 months off. So just like really rusty. Yeah. I still remembered everything, most of the high level details.
Yeah.
And it was like the first day I like couldn't even like, it was bad. It was like 30 something minutes. And then after day 3, I've gotten multiple 22 minutes. So like, and that's with like failing major things multiple times.
Yeah.
So, it wasn't until I watched this guy do a video where it was like beginner strats, full 16-star speed run. He didn't do some of the more complicated, faster things that I do, and he failed a bunch of simple stuff. And his time was like 18:30. I was like, how is that? And it's because every little minute going from one door to the other, like between stars.
Yeah.
Like he just saved 0.2 seconds.
It's so optimized.
But like he would go run over to a door and like bonk on the door. And like there's so many simple things that I'm like, what the fuck? Like
interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm gonna give that a try again.
That's exciting.
But yeah, what was the other thing that I forget now.
Quests.
But yeah, I mean that's probably a good segue into all of the drama and whining and back and forth that's been on Twitter and stuff lately about. It seems like there's like 2 sides of this where like 2 different content creators, they're all that nobody's mentioning anybody. They're all just basically being like,
yeah,
everybody's whining about this. And so it's half of the community is saying, there's something wrong with the game, whether it's inertia, whether it's weapon balancing, whether it's, whatever. And then the other half of the people are saying, why are you whining about the game?
Yeah.
I'm so sick of people whining about the game. Why don't you play something different or, whatever? And it's like, And I feel like, I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm in the middle.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's the thing. And like, I've been like processing this a lot recently because like I tweeted out something like very not about Tarkov, just about like, it was just like, I don't know if you saw it. It was just like a thread of my thoughts on like, it's not a Tarkov thing. It's like, it's just that our social medias are too good, right? They're like, social media is really good. The algorithms that we made are really good at filling your timeline with things you like, right? We know that. We know that, you know, if I just look at this post, if I don't even engage with it, if I just look at it longer than the other posts, Twitter knows that. You know what I mean? So the algorithms are really good at filling your timelines with things you like. And then it's all prioritizing engagement, clicks and likes and comments, and negativity drives a ton of engagement. You know what I mean? If I post, you know what I mean? Like, so, you know, I love Tarkov. This has been the best wipe ever. 7 people are going to like it. But if I'm like, dude, this gun is busted, don't ever use it, I'm going to get 100 comments of why I'm wrong, right? So it's just natural. So it's like a beast we create. And I was just kind of talking about that. And I was just like, it sucks, but it's just the way it is. It's not a Tarkov thing. It's like every, you know, niche is going to have this similar thing. And it's just a bummer. But I've just been like thinking about that a lot. And it's like, it's just so blown out of proportion. Like, I would bet money that there are more tweets saying that Tarkov Twitter is so dramatic right now than there are tweets that saying Tarkov sucks right now.
That I would agree that that's the case from the people that I follow.
Yeah.
I definitely see more. Like, I don't know who they follow, but I definitely see more people basically being like,
yeah,
everybody complaining now about Tarkov needs to do X.
Yes, it becomes,
whether it's play a different game or
it's all a meta, right? It's a meta to farm. I want to be careful about what I say because
you think it's intentional?
No, I don't. That's why I pulled it back real quick because it's a subconscious meta. And the reason why I pulled it back is because right now, a few people's very conscious meta is to talk about engagement farming. And so, but I think it's a subconscious thing.
Which is also engagement farming.
Exactly, 100%, dude. It's like, what it is, yeah, it's like, where was my train of thought going? Yeah, it's just like some people say stuff and then that is trendy and drives a lot of engagement subconsciously, right? The people that are tweeting, like, okay, let's just say the people that are tweeting Tarkov sucks right now. I don't think they're like, how can I farm engagement on Twitter? Because it's not like, you know what I mean? It's not like there's not like a CPM for engagement on Twitter. There's no motive to really grind that. I think it's just boom. But it does farm a lot of engagement. And then the internet just evolves so fast. There just becomes this like event horizon where all of the sudden, on a whim, it's now cringe to say Tarkov is broken, and it's meta to say all these people complaining that Tarkov is broken. Now that's going to get you more engagement. And then some crazy thing happens, and in an instant, that's cringe to say, and it's just like, everybody just do your own thing, and it changes so fast, and you could tweet something that yesterday everybody was agreeing with you on, that today all the comments are like, bro, cringe, get out of here. It changes so fast, and it's so crazy. And I truly think, like, there are absolutely people that think Tarkov sucks right now. There are absolutely people that think inertia is bad, all this stuff. And we can even talk about those things. But I think it's... Oh.
Control Z. I'm sitting here typing along with our script while he's talking because I have ideas and I can multitask, and I accidentally
deleted
hit Control A and then deleted.
I was like, where did the notes go? But like, I really do think that it's a growing thing. I think a few people expressed some frustrations, and then it became cooler to say everybody's frustrated, and then it became cooler to say everybody needs to just chill with the drama, and then it became cooler to say, you know what, Tarkov's dramatic. Here's a picture of a unicorn. Like, it just balloons, and it's so blown out of proportion, and it's so taken out of context. So you've got that side of like the human psyche. It's just so fascinating to see that happen to me. Depressing, but fascinating. And then on the other side of it, the reality is, and I talked about this a little bit too, like, it's okay to vent, and venting is good, and we should Twitter is, totally vent on Twitter. I don't care if you're venting on Twitter. It's just, once again, the algorithm is so good at filling your timeline with things you like, and then the algorithm rewards negativity or negative posts or any sort of venting. So then what you end up doing is you tailor an algorithm of things you like and then only see people bashing on those things you like. And nobody likes to have somebody bash the things they like. And a great example of this is like Pestily tweeted something about how like basically all YouTube, he was like, freaking all Tarkov highlight video titles, they're all so freaking cringe. It's just, broken meta, use this ammo. And
oh, I missed that one. Yeah,
he tweeted that. And it was like a picture. And he was like, I actually just smashed my hand on my keyboard, and that was the name of the video just to prove a point, and I got all these views or whatever. And and then
it's easy to say that.
Yeah. And then in my tweet, I said something along the lines of like, I was like, I just hate that every day I wake up, everybody's bashing things that I'm passionate about. The game I like sucks. My YouTube thumbnails are cringe, and you're a sellout if you run ads. And Pestily responded, and he was like, the thumbnails are great. It's just, but the point I'm trying to make is, I agree with Pestily that like all of the thumbnails and titles of like Tarkov YouTube highlight videos are all very similar. A very distinct meta has formed, and if you stray too far away from that, it's hard to get views. I agreed with
That's not even Tarkov. That's just
for sure
gaming.
But the point was, I agreed with his tweet, but it still offended me because I love YouTube and I love figuring this out, and I felt it as some indirect slight against me. Like Pestily's calling me cringe. Pestily's calling me this. And he responded to the tweet, and I responded back to him. I was like, listen, here's the thing. I agree with you. It's just nobody likes being told that the stuff they like is cringe, or the stuff they like is stupid, or the stuff they like is broken. And then somebody like Pestily can put that out there, and he's probably just venting. He's not pointing that at anyone. He's not just, he probably didn't just watch a video and was thinking, God, JesseKazam's thumbnails are so terrible, let me tweet this. But I took it that way because I'm a YouTuber and because I am so passionate about that. And that's not fair to Pestily, but that was the point. It was just like, when everybody's bashing all of the things I love all of the time, it's hard not to take it personally. Even if it wasn't personal, so many people responded to that tweet and was like, yo, I hope you were okay. And I was like, no, like you're in the wrong stratosphere. Like, I'm fine. It's not just a don't let the haters get to you type of thing. The last thing I would call Pestily is a hater. It's just this weird thing where like everybody hates when other people say the stuff that they like sucks. And if that person is just venting, it's hard not to take it personally. And then the responses to the tweets are almost always infinitely more toxic to the tweets, right? Somebody can be like, you know what I mean? Like you understand this a lot. You gamer rage hard. When you die, you'll say something will slip out of your mouth. You're like, this is the worst game ever
fucking
made.
Hate this shit game.
Dude. I clicked on your stream. I said Assad, dude, and you were on Woods, and you were like, you were like, I clicked on your stream. You're like, games built in 1996 had better movement than this. Like,
because I'm sitting there trying to get up a 6-inch rock, like jumping, sliding down.
Dude,
It's like
100%. But that's the point. Is so you understand it, I understand it. I say the words, I hate this game all the time. So it's like, so somebody gamer rages, which is very understandable, on Twitter. They say, Tarkov is so broken right now. And that comes from one place. But then somebody else sees it, me included, and gets super offended because I love Tarkov. Don't say Tarkov sucks. And then people with less common sense than me reply and say, no, you suck. Play a different game. You're toxic, and you're the one ruining Tarkov. Anything about Tarkov
you're the problem.
Yeah, anything about Tarkov that sucks, you caused. And then that person's gonna respond and be like, dude, you're a dick. Like, and it just spirals. And so, yes, like we can talk about some of these things.
Gamer rage on Twitter.
Yes, exactly, 100%. But it's just one of those things where once again, like we said, the meta is to talk about the drama somehow, either directly, indirectly, adjacently, saying it's good, saying it's bad. The meta right now is to talk about the drama when it's all so blown out of proportion. The reality is it's like 15 people just kind of gamer malding on Twitter. And that can have such ripple effects like that. Just something as simple as that. Some dude who died for 8 hours on Tarkov posts a tweet. But if the stars align and enough people do that in a 24-hour period, that whole cycle begins. People respond, then they respond, then everyone say, well, my timeline's filled with all this. And then it's like, don't be dramatic. And here we are now, where like almost every single person interested in Tarkov is aware of this Twitter drama, and there's no drama. It's just like our inability to separate this from real life. And I'm included. I made the tweet and Pesley responded, and I was like, no, I don't want you to think that I was mad at you. Like it's this whole thing. I think about this stuff so much. It's crazy. It's crazy. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's funny.
So, I mean, now here I am trying to think about how many of the things that I'm thinking of as like things that everyone's complaining about, I actually saw anybody complaining about, or whether it's hearsay.
Boom.
You know, I honestly, I don't know.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I did say earlier that I'm pretty sure I see more people complaining.
Yeah.
Than
about the complaining. About the complaining. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a great example of this is the first note you have. Inertia is bad. The general consensus is that the Uber Chads, the 70, 68 levels, if you're level 68 and plus, the general consensus is that all of those people think inertia is bad. And you want to know what's crazy? To challenge myself, I've been DMing some of these people or talking to them or popping in their streams, and almost every single one of their opinion has been something to the effect of, I like inertia, I just think it needs to be tweaked. I'm indifferent on inertia. I don't mind that they added. I just think it needs to be tweaked. Or I think we're on the right track. Or like almost every single one. Almost every single one. It's just maybe a few of those people gamer raged and tweeted inertia is bad. And then all of this. And then now there's like this huge rift where everybody on this side of the fence thinks everyone on that side of the fence wants to take out inertia. And when you actually talk to those people, they're like, no, I just think it's just not where it needs to be. And it's like, yeah. I think everybody agrees it's not, like, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure a lot of it is like Twitch chat seeing a couple of tweets and then being like, what do you think about, this person, blah, blah, blah. And then the more people in Twitch chat talk about it, then the more people in Twitch chat start to, and then they tell the streamer, and then the streamer, yeah. I think I've probably heard just as much from my chat.
Yeah.
Either, I'd say less so than my core community members and more like people who are newish.
Yeah, who are popping in, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I have a few like video ideas that I want to talk about that actually is related to the whole like weapon balancing and inertia. I think I started to like write out a new kind of like what's it called, outline for a video where I'm like 90-year-old brain. I'm getting dementia. I keep forgetting all the things that if I've talked about them or not on stream.
Oh.
Because this was very much related to, I think I was watching Tweak's video, and then it was around that time that I ended up making that meme video about you. So yeah, I don't know if I talked about it on stream or if I talked about it. But I basically have some ideas about, it's basically all of the stuff that anyone either talks about or whines about or says that people are whining about when it comes to weapons and armor and ammo and gun metas and inertia and all that shit. Basically, I think there's ways to tweak all the things, as well as like everything that people are complaining about is like the wrong as usual.
Yeah.
It's like you're all missing the forest for the trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe that'll be something that I work on.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that.
But yeah. So what does this whole thing wait longer for fuller lobbies? I haven't heard that at all until an hour ago, somebody said something like,
Oh,
"Are
yeah.
all your raids been dead?" That's the first time I've heard it, and then I see you post it here.
Yeah.
I've had like hopping lobbies everywhere.
Yeah, it's really hard to talk about because it's all very anecdotal, and it very much so depends on where you live, right? Like what, you know, certain servers are always going to be more populated than others and stuff like that because of just the population density or how many people are in the game. But I had been hearing inklings of, people just not malding, just complaining and being like, man, like raids have been dead recently. You know what I mean? Raids have been dead. And I always kind of took that as like, dude, I don't know, man, switch your servers up. Like my raids are always full. You know what I mean? And then this week I'd been doing a few morning streams, and I experienced a few times, especially yesterday. Yesterday I was playing with Geeks, and like, I mean, I don't know what coast he is on Canada. Like I don't know what servers he's going to be selected, Central, West, or East, but I'm on East, and I don't think he's East Coast. And we were swapping invites, and like, I mean, we couldn't find people, dude. We played customs, we played shoreline, we played woods.
What time of the day was it? Was it early?
Yeah, so East Coast, it was like from like 10:30 to like 3:30. And I mean,
all the kids are at daycare, dude.
But that's what I'm saying. So, but that's what I'm saying. So if that's the switch up. If you're a morning streamer, I can understand. Like yesterday, I would have chosen waiting an additional 90 seconds in queue for a guaranteed, 50 to 60 or 50 to 75% capacity raid. Now, what's hard, what makes it so anecdotal, is you never know if you got into a full raid and everybody got you had a quest item, Andy, then this guy found a sugar and left, and then this guy spawned on the other side of the map and died to a scav. You never really know when your raid is quote unquote dead, especially on a big map like Woods. So that's what makes it hard to talk about. But it was just something that I've been hearing a lot of people talk about recently. And then like, yesterday it was just like, dude, where is everybody? You know what I mean? So
if it just
seems,
so here's the
what's
thing.
the downside, I guess, is my question to them implementing a little code thing.
Well, so here's the thing. How do you know that they don't do that?
Correct. I don't know.
Let's say they added 90 seconds. You'd wait 90 seconds. You'd still end up in a dead raid. And then you'd be like, you know what? I'd be fine with them adding 90 more seconds.
Yeah.
Until you're waiting 20 minutes. Right.
Well,
so at
I guess
some
90,
point
the 90-second is irrelevant. Like, change it up to like just scaling servers, or like, what if it was a wide wait as long as it took for, you know what I mean? And then the community would just be like, hey, don't go on this server at this time. You know what I mean? Like, what's the...
They used to do that.
Know.
I'm pretty sure, I might be misremembering, but it's just like my intuition is telling me that the opposite used to be what people would complain about. They're sick of waiting in lobbies to try to get like let me just fucking get into a raid. I remember some dude, I mean, he's an outlier, but some dude came into chat and was like, has there always been like a queuing problem, dude? Like it took you fucking 2 minutes to get into a raid, like ridiculous. I'm like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
What universe do you live on?
Yeah.
I play fucking, like Fortnite or whatever, and I only have to wait. And it's like, dude, what the fuck? Like,
and
that was record time for Tarkov.
Yeah, that's the thing, is I don't know the back end. I don't know how easy it is. Like, some people say, well, shut down certain servers to make, in the region to make the ones more populated. But what if that just gets complicated? Because what if these servers are required so that these people can connect? And like, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get what it is on the back end. I just think...
What do you expect when you give people a million things to do outside of raid?
Well, yeah.
They sit in their fucking hideout, craft stuff. They sit on the flea market.
I mentioned that too, where if there was if the in-between raid was more optimized, it wouldn't feel as bad. But still, once again, like I said, I'm not coming at this like in an aggressive manner. I don't know what the solution is. It just like, I feel like everybody would agree with the assumption that relatively 3 months into a wipe, 3.5 months into a wipe, the people that are left playing are more the people that are like really into the game, that really want full lobbies, that are really down to like do that. You know what I mean? And so it's just an interesting thought. It circled the community before, and it's just like, you're absolutely right. We have no idea if there is an automatic addition, like maybe they give us an extra 60 seconds, and if it's not half full by then, they just still want to deploy the raid because they don't want servers hanging 10 minutes in, never land, but it's just like, I kind of get it when, PvP is the reward, right? Like, not to say that PvP is required for Tarkov, but because Tarkov doesn't have an end game, because we have these wipes and because...
And half the quests require you kill PMCs.
Exactly. Half the quests require you to kill PMCs. And because, like, everything, so much of the game has been repeated so many times by certain players that it's very optimized how to get through it, right? You know what I mean? The first time I got through the quest line, it took me like 6 months, you know what I mean? But now I can get through most of the quests in 30 days. And then it's just at the end of the day, you might not be a PvP person, but like a huge allure of the game is this crazy, intense, risky, I'm losing my gear PvP. So it's not crazy to be like, I mean, we gotta have people in the PvP. You know what I mean? Like, imagine PUBG or Fortnite with 22 people in the huge freaking battle royale. It's like, I'm not gonna see anybody until the circle's all the way closed. That would just be annoying. PvP's, so it's like, it's a dangerous thing because you get the people who are like, well, it's not about PvP. It isn't all about PvP for sure, but like, I mean, I don't know. But the game is definitely about the danger and the threat of players being around you. You know what I mean? And me and Geeks were running around woods without a care in the world. And then you get the other side where I got people like, I got so many people yesterday being like, man, if I did half the stuff that they do in Raid, I would get one shot. It's like, it's because you play prime time. You know what I mean? Like, I got no one to shoot at me. So I'm begging someone to shoot at me right now.
Yeah, or it's that you just don't fucking have the awareness or visibility or whatever. Every time I go factory, it's just full of chads.
Yeah.
Like, no, you get killed by a dude that's got like that janky, like level 1 or level 2, like green armor that like, I don't know what that is. And that sometimes I'm like, was that guy wearing a fort?
Dude, I've done that too.
Full pack and the level 2. And I'm like, oh, he's level 3. Like, oh, okay. But I feel like the elephant in the room for some people listening has to be that not long ago when I was getting into raids and getting fucking smothered instantly, and we had talked about this, and I was like,
yeah, for
it'd be
sure.
great if there were less players in raid.
For sure.
So now we're on the flip side of,
no, you're absolutely right.
It's there's a balance.
Yes.
And it's hard to say where we are in that balance.
Absolutely right. And once again, like every conversation we have, the conversation gets stopgapped up against some stupid Tarkov mechanic. And like an example of that here is the spawns. We want full raids. When the raids are full, the spawns are disgusting. And we're like, I would pay money for less PMCs in the raid. You know what I mean? Like, and then there's less PMCs in the raid, but there's nothing to do in the raid because you already have Kappa. So now you want more PMCs because there's nothing to do. There's no events. There's no reason to be experiencing the game outside of PvP when you have those things. So now you want it back up. You're absolutely right. Like, but it's exactly that. When we've talked about that, when we've talked about how like Tarkov would feel better with less PMCs, there's always some sort of like, but give us more to do in the raid. And it's exactly that. It's a balance between the two. The raids are really like two or three Dead Woods raids, and I'm like yawning. I could have a Juju IV, but I just like can't. 2 or 3 Dead Woods raids, and I'm like falling asleep at my monitor. So I don't want that.
That's because Woods is way too big for the number of PMCs.
Exactly.
So if
Woods needs
there's
more,
only 4 people, statistically you'll never see anybody.
Exactly. And that's where it comes down to is some maps simultaneously need more players and need less spawns or need better spawns. And that's where the rub comes in. Because when that's
what I need to do a video on spawns.
Yes. Because when you're getting cucked by spawns, all you can think of is there should be less players. And then when you get dead raids, all you're thinking is there should be more players. And sometimes it's both. On Woods, it's both. I feel like definitively Woods needs more PMCs, but also in prime time, sometimes I can spawn Woods, jump up on a rock and just wait and be like, pew! You know what I mean? And it's like, and that's why, again, I'm going to say this until I'm on my deathbed, the cycles system there allows the server to basically dynamically be like, we don't have to front load all the PMCs in all at once, but we can trickle them in and make sure that it's, pretty full.
I played the cycle for one day, and I'm sure it just didn't catch me initially. I'm
Just
probably
understand,
at some point I'll get Cap and I'll just get bored and I'm not going to want to do Mario all the time. So I'll probably play a little bit of the cycle again. But I do have to say that some of it's the stream, like the tempo of I like having 2 to 3 minutes to work on a song or pull out my guitar or whatever.
Yeah.
So the thing is that these kinds of games, like I'm on like 110% with my brain. So it's like I know I'm going to get exhausted.
Yeah.
You get into a raid, all of a sudden, instantly, you press a button, you're back into a raid. Like, that's fantastic, but at the same time, it's also like, fuck, like, it's almost like I'm out of breath.
Yep.
So, again, it's like everything else. I feel like there's a middle ground, and maybe that should just be like, I won't hit the button, and I'll give myself a 2-minute fucking break.
And that's why games like The Cycle and potentially Tarkov have a lot of potential there, because, like, there is a lot to do outside of the game. If you want to be outside of the game, it's just player choice. Me choosing I want to spend some time outside of the game to either just debrief from a raid, sell a bunch of stuff that I've been saving on the flea market, craft a bunch or whatever. And then when I want to go game time, I can be game time without these 8 to 10 minute chunks in between. It's just better. You know what I mean? Same with the Cycle. Cycle's got their own little hideout deal. Like, you could just vibe there and check out your little hideout modules, all the different things you're crafting, all the different tasks from all the people, where your reputation is. There's a lot to do.
But if you get in and die right away, you can get right back in.
Get right back in if you want to. It's so easy. Just like, you got an inventory, gun, meds, back in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm going to have to get used to that, because that's one of the things. Like, I just don't know all the hotkey, like the double clicking versus right clicking. Like, a lot of the things I'm just not efficient with. So I like open up my inventory and I'm like, okay, that's a backpack. Let me put that in. Wait, nope. I always end up with a backpack like in my inventory, not like equipping it, like stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
I start to go in and everybody's like, you have no ammo. I'm like, oh fuck. It's just like, I'm just not used to the icons and stuff.
You can die. If two people died, one person died if Desmond died in the Cycle, because Desmond's been playing a lot of Cycle, and I died in Tarkov, Desmond would be in another raid in the Cycle before I got back to my stash. Like, I'd get the little spin wheel, and then I have to click heal, and I'm like, wait, where did he kill me from? And I click, and Desmond would be deploying into another raid. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. If you want to be game time in the Cycle, you can be game time.
I played for a few hours, and I couldn't get a single kill. I got in a bunch of fights, couldn't get a single kill. And maybe that's gear related. I'm sure most of it is just like my aim is shit. And
it's so hard. It's so hard because everybody wants to say, how does this compare to Tarkov? But everybody's really quick to make that. But it's really hard to quickly judge a game with a completely different gear, completely different time to kill, completely different like gear. Like, it's much more traditional, like green, blue, purple, exotic, like,
I still don't know how the color system. I never played a game like that.
And so it's really hard to judge, because it's like their philosophies on combat are different, right? Tarkov's philosophy is, Makarov can kill the guy with the slick ULAC, and the philosophy of the Cycle is, if you've got a scrapper and this guy's got purple armor, it's just going to take more shots. Additionally, like, what some people like, what the Rust community like a lot is every gun has a spray pattern. Like, a full auto AK in Rust will make the exact same spray pattern every time, so you can reverse that and like completely control the recoil. The Cycle is like that. Like, you could just go in and you could master a weapon in the Cycle and it be a laser beam. But that's not like Tarkov, where like if you gave a brand new player, an old meta HK, they have a laser beam. But in the Cycle and in Rust and in CS, if you see them with a laser beam, you think, oh, they put 1,000 hours behind that gun to master that thing. So it's so hard to compare the combat styles of Tarkov and the Cycle, because it's like, I don't know, man. They're so different. And it does feel clunky and different for sure.
One of the things that I noticed, because I'm new to the game, like a lot of people, but I'm sure that it's something I haven't noticed about Tarkov, but I'm sure that everybody new experiences this in Tarkov, and I have the option to put these attachments on guns, or to buy this gun or buy that gun, and it's like I've got 30,000 credits.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Am I fucking rich? Can I buy a boat with this? Or is this one sniper rifle? And also when I go in and I pick up these random things that I don't know if I'm going to need for quests, I don't know if they're super rare.
Yeah.
I don't know whatever. What are they worth? You know, so much of the time is just figuring out like, what the fuck is $1 worth?
Yeah, 100%.
You know, at some point I feel like a game is going to have to be like, I think there's something that some game could do to make that experience,
that learning experience
in some way, you know, like maybe it's not like credits, maybe it's like, or I mean, maybe they could just abstract it out to be like, the best gun cost 10, the worst gun cost 1.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably wouldn't work. But
it's hard because similar to
Tarkov,
there's just a billion things. Like the advice you'd give to a new Tarkov player, you would need in the cycle, which is like, take everything, but when you run out of space, sell everything. Because you might need 17 optic glasses for the later quests, but you don't know that now. You might never get to those later quests, so don't let it. I tell that to people all the time. They're like, you know, I got standard edition stash. My stash is full of screwdrivers and bolts, and I don't know what to take or sell. I'm like, sell everything you don't want to use right now. Yeah, you're going to be pissed you did that later when you're like, oh, I can't find bolts. But it's like, don't let your brand new first couple raid experiences be so weighed down by wondering when you need long screwdrivers in Tarkov. Like, there are so many more things you need to be mastering, you know what I mean, in Tarkov. So it's the same thing. There's so many items. And you're right, though. The game doesn't really tell you that. You're just like inundated with items, and some of them are purple and some of them are blue, and some of them actually serve no purpose. Like some of them, but I only know that from talking to Geeks, who's played a lot more than me. He's like, oh, just sell that has no purpose. And it's like, but then this thing you need for 7 quests. And I'm like, you know what I mean? At the beginning,
you just need to basically say, I'm going to make 1 million bad financial decisions. Yeah. Because you could spend your whole day looking at a wiki or a price guide or whatever. Do you really want the game to be like that? Just grab everything and then, you know, figure out what you want to do. If it's, you know, once you play for 2, 3, 4 hours, you'll get a sense for like, these are the, you know, Apollo cigarettes where I found 8 million of them. And I know that if I need them for a quest, I'll find them because I find 3 every raid, as opposed to this thing I've only seen once. Maybe I should hold on to it. You know? So yeah,
Hey, did you ever play In the Storm?
Is that a game or is that like
it's like
a feature?
It's what happens. Like, so like every once in a while, a storm will come through the cycle, and it's not like a storm like a battle royale thing where it shrinks the map at all. It's just a storm that it gets rainy, it gets super dark. This crazy like energy lightning strikes, and you get struck by lightning, and it does a ton of damage to you. More powerful versions of the AI come out, and like it's brutal. So basically the game is like, get inside. Oh, also during this storm, which lasts maybe like 6 minutes, 5 or 6 minutes, you can't extract. They're like, the ship can't come in because the storm. Do you know what they're doing? That's when they respawn everything. They push everybody indoors, and then they respawn the loot.
Oh, that's fucking genius.
Genius, bro. They respawn the loot and whatever AI, like if this whole area was farmed of AI and, you know, whatever, they freaking, it's...
So then they almost like they don't need to stop a server every 5 hours or whatever.
It's also a catalyst to get people out. Like every time the storm comes in, I'm like, I'd rather just get out, dump these quest items, and get back into another raid. So it pushes people out of the map. The people that are left are all in concentrated area indoors, and they can do a whole lot server side during that time. It's freaking genius. Bro.
That's smart. I mean, they could theoretically do something like that in Tarkov with like radiation or whatever. Like make it so that it was like realistic and
or the fog. Remember what that fog event they did? Remember the wipe where they had all 7 bosses on reserve, and then one day we woke up and they were like, there's a fog event, and you couldn't see 6 inches in front of your face. They could do a similar thing like that, right? Like if that came through Yeah, I would go inside. I'd go into interchange or into dorms. I would go inside. I'd be like, screw this.
But I think in order to be effective, it would need to like force them inside.
Yeah, with
so
some
that's
sort
why
of
I said
damage.
radiation.
Yeah.
Because then some people would just bring in a T7 or whatever and then be like, I'm going to be the smart guy outside. So it almost would need to be like, if you want to be outside, great, but you can only survive 30 seconds. So either they all die or, you know.
Yeah, well, even in the cycle, like the AI during the storm have a chance to drop charged versions of the things they drop, and you need those for quests later. So like later, it doesn't. But they know so few people at any given time are going to be out that they can still effectively, do the map.
Yeah.
But I agree, and I functionally at a high level, I agree with you. Some sort of radiation, a temperature thing, which they've done before, a fog thing, which they've done before, something that pushes people inside that allows them to do things. It's hard because in Tarkov, so much more of the loot is inside anyway. Dorms, interchange, resort. If everybody was in there, you know what I mean, you wouldn't really be able to respawn the loot as effectively. But
dude, imagine if you had to go on woods like underground or reserve underground, because even if you're in a building above ground, the radiation is gonna fuck you up.
Or labs, having to go down into labs or something like that. Like or to factory. Like, at a high level, it's just I hadn't realized that was what the storm was for. And I was like, that's a really interesting way to push people out of the map and to use that to respawn AI, respawn loot, do stuff like that. Super freaking interesting, bro.
So they respawn even if you're in the raid, right? It's not just to get people to exfil.
No, correct. Stuff will spawn in the raid. So like a few times
you just don't have to worry about anyone seeing it pop in.
Exactly. Like Geeks has played raids. So like the cycle, we know the cycle are 6-hour servers. Like Geeks has played raids where it's like you have 20 minutes to leave. Like I've never even played a raid
that's
like that.
DayZ
that's that this server is shutting down. And aside from that message, he can still go to the areas he needs to go and know he can reliably farm loot. If he got there right after a player did, there wouldn't be anything, of course. But even in the 5th hour, in the 5th and a half hour, there's loot. Like they respawn the loot multiple times throughout. But I've never seen it pop in. I've never seen in a cycle game. I've never seen it pop in. It's just you go to a place and you're like, I need to kill AI here. There's no AI here. Somebody must have been here. There's no loot here. You just move on to the next place. I've never seen stuff pop in. But it works. But it works, dude. Yep.
That's interesting. This isn't really a great segue, but I figure I might as well just toss it in now. I hadn't experienced this when you were whining, complaining about it, and now I'm 8 billion% on the side of I fucking hate shotguns, dude. Right now, it's the new Mosin.
It is.
And maybe this is, I'm the guy, I'm not going to tweet about it because I know I'm just digging myself into a shit pit, so I'm not going to tweet, but I complain about it on stream because when I go into a factory, now it's like the old days with the Mosin where it's a dude with a P.A.K.A. and flechette, and I've got a 1,000,000 ruble kit, and I just
they can go
dead
boom, boom,
with
dead.
flechette.
Yep, absolutely.
And it's like, and maybe we can talk about the history of Tarkov after this because we can talk about the Mosin. But I talked about that in the history of Tarkov, how when the Mosin came out, we were all stoked because at the time, were you playing then?
Oh, yeah.
At the time, there were 2 sniper rifles in the game. There was the
SV98.
the SV98 and the DVL.
Yep.
The DVL was 250,000 rubles, and the SV98 had trigger delay, like a fucking full second trigger delay, and it was 100,000 rubles. So imagine trying to get sniper level 6 or level 7 when you have to spend 250,000 or best case 100,000 on just god awful guns. And then they came out with the Mosin, and it was 13,000 rubles. And this is before we had 85 chest AP,
one tap
chest HP. So it was almost always a one-tap center mass. And it also feels like, I don't know why, but I just don't remember like arms being like
back in the day. No,
it was center mass. You got shot with they would die.
Yep.
And that could be anecdotal, and I might be forgetting, but it just seemed like now arms soak up so much damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if there's something. Yeah, I don't know, but it's the Mosin all over again, where it's a bunch of people that have an equal chance. And sure, this is what Tarkov's all about, right?
Yeah.
But I sort of disagree.
Yeah.
It just really sucks where there are people who are arguably more effective, because when I have a DMR, I need to hit you 2 to 3 times in your chest because one might hit your arm, or I need to hit a headshot when you're moving like this. It's like impossible. With Flechette, you close your eyes and just point in the right compass direction, and they're gonna die.
Dude, you know it'd be a great YouTube video for you to make, because you're really good at Factory. Like, blindfold yourself and bring a shotgun and see if you can get a kill just on audio. Just sound whore people.
Oh yeah.
Like, maybe run upstairs into like a place and then put the blindfold on and just see if you can just like just like sound whore somebody in Flechette. That would be I would watch that video, YouTube video, of you doing that all day.
Yeah, see, the problem was I could do that with like a P90 also.
Yeah, I know, but yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's.
Anyways,
yeah, I like that.
Anyways, you're absolutely right. I've had this conversation, and it's hard because you get the, no disrespect, but you get the bros that are in there that it's like, well, that's what Tarkov's about. You know, there should be a counter to everything, and without that, we don't have a counter to the slicks. We don't have a counter to the Altons. I don't have time to play, and I want to be able to be competitive. I get it. I don't have all the answers, but I'm telling you, this is my new favorite thing to say because it's true, by the way. The fact that you can get a double barrel shotgun for cheaper than the price of a water bottle from Therapist in this game is broken. Like, you should, yes, everything should have a counter, but the water bottles are 12,000 rubles and a double barrel shotgun is 8,000. And the fact that you can bring that in, and with Magna Buck, you only need 2 bullets to put down literally anybody in the game because of leg shots. It's crazy. It's crazy. We didn't really talk about the
yeah, there's no counter for a water bottle.
What's the
checkmate?
Checkmate
atheists.
We didn't really talk about the Raider event, but like I tweeted out a picture just to meme. I was like, Raider event looking real lit. And my backpack, I had 4 double barrel shotguns in my backpack. I did a factory raid and I wiped the lobby and every single person had a double barrel shotgun. And it's like, it's just, and so people come in and I'm like, it's definitively the best new player gun, especially for close range maps like factory. Like I can't recommend anything better than that to you. It's, but I hate it. But I get if you use it, and I'm not mad at you. But I hate it very much. Like,
yeah. So I mean, here's the thing. What I think a lot of people don't realize is they see one side of it, especially if you're either lower level, you're casual, or you're new. They are excited about the shotguns, and it makes it so that they can do all this cool shit. But they don't realize that if you know their goal, a lot of those people's goals is I want to be able to get late game and unlock all this cool shit.
I know exactly where you're going.
It ruins that for you because you're going to be like, I just unlocked this fucking cool stuff and now I can use the mutant and now I can, and then you're gonna start dying to all the people that are level 5 using. So it makes it so that if you survive, you get nothing but a bunch of fucking scab shotguns with 50% durability, or you die to them and they get all of the shit.
And so they end literally up either vendoring it all or letting it sit in their stash forever.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like exactly. Like if you want to feel exactly that. Like I challenge you, if you want to feel the other side of the argument, the next time you double barrel somebody with a mutant and a slick, take that into factory. And
so that I can fucking get a chance to get it back.
Feel that pain of getting double barreled, you know what I mean? Because you're exactly right. You want to use it as a tool to advance, right? Like, of course, like you want to advance your level, you want to advance and get better gear. But would you like to then encounter this when you have that better gear? You know what I mean? Or else it's. And that's what's crazy. Is like, I know that this sounds crazy and ridiculous. And once again, people are going to be super pissed. That the people that love the shotgun are going to be super pissed. And I'm not trying to stir the pot. But like, just walk this theory craft with me. Like, if Magnum Buck's damage was reduced by 50%, the community would freak out. But if that was the only experience you had with Magnum Buck, people would still rate it as one of the best budget guns in the game. Like, you know what I mean? It's.
I wish I saw Magnum Buck though. I only see Flechette.
Really, I see a lot of.
Everybody
Magnum.
runs Flechette. I literally just delete Flechette.
Yeah.
Now I don't even pick it up.
Flechette, but just as a case study, because you could do Flechette as well. Like if you reduce the flesh damage of it by half, it would still be incredibly effective. Like if I told you that you could buy a gun for 12,000 rubles in 3 to 4 shot. Anybody in the game, like if out of the context of we just talked about shotguns for 10 minutes, you'd be like, ooh, which one is that? Tell me. And if I was like, yeah, it's a nerfed shotgun, you'd be like, no, don't take my shotgun. But it's true. Like if I told you that, but it's just, dude, it really is crazy. It's so easy and they're so cheap and it's the caliber that has the most viable rounds. Everybody's always talking about 7.62, BP's great, everything else sucks. 5.56, all the rounds suck. You know, M80 is terrible this wipe, but like there are so many viable shotgun rounds. Like AP20 still slaps. Flechette is ungodly. Magnum Buck is destructive. Like you can even get away with 7mm because that's not that much worse than Magnum Buck.
Yeah, so
and you can get 7mm for like 22 rubles a round. Like it's crazy.
So I guess we need to be, you know, not just to be fucking out ahead of the goddamn comments, but, you know, I think to be honest and fair, is this conceptually different, better, the same, whatever, as the people that I think we've not necessarily criticized, but we've commented on complaining about the meta guns and, you know, like mutants or whatever, you know, let's just talk about how is it different?
Yeah.
Is it any better? Because it's, you know, maybe the new people feel like they're getting killed by Chads everywhere and they hate getting, maybe part of it, just to boil it down, it's, I hate seeing the same shit every raid.
Yeah.
You know, like I'd almost rather like, I mean, maybe the solution is like make fucking dog tags great again or something because there's no reward when you outplay the nerd with a double barrel shotgun.
Yeah.
Other than you want to grab my shit gun that you don't want to use because you've had access to it from day one.
And I bought it for 8,000 rubles, so you're going to vendor it for 2,000 rubles. Like
yeah. So you're going to get it back in insurance. It's going to cost you nothing to insure, and you're just going to have a billion shotguns. I don't know. Like, I don't know what the solution is.
And this goes back. Go ahead. I don't want to interrupt.
I was just going to say, I don't know if or how this is conceptually different from, you know, the thing that we were kind of being critical of, you know, over the last few weeks, which is people complaining about the meta guns, whether they were mutant or whatever. But I do think if every raid I was dying to a Chad with a mutant in factory, then that would also mean that 50% of the time I kill a guy and I get access to a mutant. That'd be dope, you know?
Yes, I think that's very important. I think that's a very important distinction because you're right. On some level, it would feel very similar if all you ran into were mutants, but even on that, and that similarity would be that it was boring. It's boring to just kill people with shotguns, and it's boring to just kill people with mutants. The thing is that there's a reward. Exactly. Like I can vendor a mutant for 150,000 rubles. I can save the 7.62 BP. I can vendor the mags. If that dude has an Alton, the Alton vendors for 130,000 rubles. You know what I mean? You kill a guy with a good kit. You can vendor half of it, keep the other half, and still come out with 300,000 to 400,000 rubles of profit. And if you kill 2 or 3 people, well, now you're sitting pretty. And I think that is a distinct difference in that there is a reward. And so we've talked about many times, and I'm down to talk about it again, but yeah, freaking dog tags, there's so much that you could do with them. The other thing I think is different as far as like, I couldn't tell if you were getting at this too, but like Is it different that we were being critical of other people being critical of guns and then we were critical of guns? And I think part of it is like, to go back to the whole meta, is like, I'm most critical about the game here in an outlet where I can qualify my statements, elaborate on them, and provide suggestions. And I do think that's different than Twitter.
Not just complaining in Twitch chat or Twitter.
Exactly. And I can do that off as a sounding board off of another human being that can then call me out and be like, well, no, what did you think about this? And I'm like, oh, shoot, yeah, I didn't even think about that. And then I can instantly maybe correct a mistake, whereas you make a mistake in a tweet, you're going to get 600,000 people say that mistake. The first 4 people you're going to respond to and say, yeah, you're right, I made a mistake. And then you're just going to be like, screw it. You know what I mean? So even in that aspect, I think like there's a time and a place for everything, right? Like, and being critical of the game in a place where we can actually talk about it is very different, in my opinion, than being hypercritical. Not saying you can't or shouldn't be critical of the game on Twitter. You do whatever you want. I'm just saying this is why I choose to do it here. But going back to the dog tags and the reward, yeah, I definitely think that's part of it. And
I mean, I wish they were fucking like not even 1,000 rubles a level, but like 5,000 rubles a level. Like you're taking another person's life, you're risking your own life. Just make it so you can't take your fucking teammate's dog tag, so that 100%. You can't farm it unless you're just 5 of you all trying to Q snipe each other. And if you want to do that, fine. Like,
honestly,
fuck them, you know,
there are easier ways to make money.
But I just,
dude, barters as well. We've talked about this many times, dude. You can make barters. You can make the best barter, the most like ruble to item. You can make the best barters for dog tags, and it's as simple as the word unique dog tags. You can't pick up your friends, and the dogs have to be unique. That means you have to go.
And let me trade 10 for a fucking RSAT.
Exactly. Like they could be good barters. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then that way, freaking lower level people can get stuff too. You know what I mean? By just finding dog tags, and then you could do it. They have it scale up. 10 over level 50 dog tags, and you can get a slick, or 10 over level 40 dog tags, and you can get a mutant or something. And then another way that this is similar is, once again, I was talking about how like a lot of the people that may tweet something adjacent to, the guns suck, the gun balance, I hate just dying to mutants and stuff like that. When you actually like get in and talk to those people, they want what I want too, which is like variety, right? They want to not die to mutants every day too. It's just hard. Where I get in the weeds is it's hard because it's like, if just use more guns, you know what I mean? Like I get frustrated when people come in and they're like, 5.56 sucks. I'm like, no, 5.56 is like when we get up to that level, in my opinion, it's like we're talking like percentage points. Like, you know what I mean? Like 7.62 BP is a few percent better than 5.5A1.
5.56, I think that people think it's broken. Like,
yeah, they think it's bugged because it was at the beginning of the wipe.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what people think about it, but that's the gist, either directly or indirectly, that I've gotten from people when they talk about 5.56. A lot of it is, I shot the scav in the head and he didn't die. Yeah. When it was, they hit him in the neck and they don't understand hide overboard or something. I don't know.
This wipe, it's been 5.56, but for the past 3 wipes, I don't know about you, but what have people been saying about 5.45 AKs? 5.45 is trash, man. It's trash. It lets me down all the time. I was running with Ben. I grabbed a 74M with the waffle suppressor. I had a few 60 rounders of BS. He died. I killed 6 PMCs. Chads, dude. Chads. Yeah. I'm like, and I always, every time I yell at Chad, I'm like, the AK sucks, doesn't it? Like, not like, at the end of the day, and that's where I want to like talk to some of these guys, like the level 73s. Like, if you're level 73, you've got to know that at the end of the day, 99% of a fight is position and accuracy. First? Yeah. Position and accuracy. It's knowing, it's being able to know the map, know where the person is if they engaged on you and missed their shots, the skill and ability to be able to flick over to them. Like that's 99% of a fight. You know what I mean? Like 1% of fights is, like I would say that's vastly less than 1% of fights come down to the 6% difference between 5.5A1 and BP. So few of your fights come down to that specifically. So that's where it's like everybody wants variety. Everybody wants the meta to be a whole slew of guns so that it's, fun to run into whatever. But I'm just like, then use the variety, because I don't think Tarkov will ever be a game where 55A1, 762BP, 545BS are all exactly the same when it comes to time to kill. That would actually be an interesting experiment. Like tier, you know what I mean? Have 3 tiers, you know what I mean? What's the BT tier, the BS tier, and the Agolnik tier of each caliber?
I mean, they
and
are.
Make their
That's
damage and pen exactly the same.
That's
but then you get fire rate and muzzle. Yeah.
I mean,
it's just too
look
complicated
at the pen,
to be balanced.
Look at the pen and damage.
Yeah.
Pretty much every bullet will kill you through most level 3, level 4, level 5 armors in 2 to 4 shots. Yeah. So, or 1 to 2 headshots or whatever. They're all so similar, which, I mean, the only thing that comes to mind is it's how fucking stupid and annoying the complexity of the system is when it just boils down to this one takes 3 shots, but it takes 0.4 seconds. This one's 3 shots, but it takes 0.47 seconds.
Yes.
You're essentially just saying fire rate is what matters.
Yeah.
Which is why the P90 and the MP7 do so good.
Yeah.
But also it's access to ammo.
That's what I was going to bring up.
Nobody uses 9mm. There'd be so many more guns that the MP9,
the fact that you can only buy 90 rounds of 55A1, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, access is definitely a huge thing. I have 3,000 rounds of 7.62 BP.
Yeah, and like to make another part of it is how annoying, and I think we see this. It's so much easier to buy some flechette, buy a double barrel shotgun, and go into a raid than it is to mod an M4 to where it's controllable. It takes 25 fucking minutes.
Yes.
Because you need to replace every part on the gun and then add 15 more parts.
Yep.
But and this is like right now, the fact that shotguns are the cheapest and easiest things, there's no reason to run anything else.
No.
Where the Mosin is 3 times the price, and you're not. People used to be able to do this, and now you can't. When you run up against the Chad and you go bang, if it's not a headshot, you gotta go click, click, bang, click, and they're just gonna go. They're gonna get hit and then go brrr, and you're dead.
You're dead.
With a shotgun and a Saiga, you can just go and you're fucking dead.
Dead.
Right?
Yeah.
So I mean.
And those rounds also have the most of the annoying back-end stats that we don't see, like aim punch and camera and camera recoil and all that stuff that there is no, like, you get hit from a shotgun and it feels like my game just imploded. I'm like, I don't know what I'm looking at. I can't see anymore. One Magnum Buck grazed my face shield and I've got 7 cracks in it. I've got a concussion. You know what I mean? And I'm like, what the hell? It has all of those things too, and you can shoot it fast, and it's cheap, and it's readily available.
And if you aim anywhere on the from their waist to 5 feet above their head, you will make their 100,000 ruble helmet face shield instantly. You're blinded. Yeah. I've never been one of those people to bring in like an extra Alton face shield. Never been that guy. But it's like if I'm gonna run an Alton, I think I'm gonna buy a fucking extra face shield.
Yep.
Now most of the time, I wear an Alton and I just die to stomach shots or whatever.
Leg shots,
so I don't know. I'm trying not to be hypocritical, but at the same time, it's like I just hate how it's all the things combined. It takes me 20 minutes to build a gun that I'm stoked about. I bring in all my good shit, which takes me fucking 3.5 years.
Yep.
I get into a raid. I spawn in glass hallway, run 5 feet, and then get sprayed down with flechette to a level fucking 14.
Yep.
And then it's either that or I kill him and 3 of his buddies, and they all have stock Glocks, or because they're doing the pistol quest, or everyone else is doing the shotgun stuff.
Yeah, you get 14,000 rubles cumulatively off of dog tags, and you have 3 double barrels. You don't know what to do, and you spent 70,000 rubles on ammo.
I spent more on insurance than everybody else's gear in the entire raid and dog tags combined.
And their insurance combined. Yeah, for sure. And it's hard because it's definitely a don't hate the player, hate the game. Like when people are like, dude, I'm new and I have to do this quest on factory. I'm like, dude, bring a freaking shotgun. It's your best chance for success. I want you to succeed too. But yeah, man, it just seems It seems like nobody's really talking about it. It 100% keeps me off Factory. Every single time I play Factory, I love that map. And I play it mostly when when there's any sort of PvP catalyst there. When there's an event that does it, you are going to get shotgunned in the leg, but you're going to have a much higher percentage than normal of other people trying to engage with the event and bringing gear. And it's so fun, man. Factory's such a good map. It's super fun, but it's just like 2-3 raids in a row. I get shotgunned and lose exactly a 500,000 ruble kit. It doesn't matter how much money I have. It's not gear fear. It's just why? Why am I doing this? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and I think another part of it too is, I mean, it feels like a conspiracy theory when I say it. So I recognize that I don't actually like believe it, but it feels like whenever I run a shotgun, I'm like, fuck it. You know, I've got like 27 double barrels because I've just been taking them off of dudes. And then I'll go in and I'll go blah, 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 blah. And I'll get insta-killed. And it's like, how do all these fucking newbies take me down? And I can't, the moment I see someone with a fucking level 3 armor, they're, unkillable. So that's all. It's also like, if you can't beat them, join them. Well, I just don't feel it. It's this weird dichotomy. Maybe I just need more practice with them, but it's just a weird dichotomy of everybody's great with this shotgun. And then if I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to do the same thing. All of a sudden I can't. And maybe they only win 10% of the time, but when they win 10% of the time, they get 500%.
So much. Yeah.
The reward.
So
maybe they go in and they get insta-dinked by, killed by the Chad.
I think they do.
Maybe I'm just the unlucky. Maybe I kill 4 of them and then I die to the 5th one, which feels equally as shitty.
Yes.
But so every raid I'm dying to 1.
I do think that's what it is. Your survival rate's going to be mad low for sure, because you're also very easy to kill. You know what I mean? If you went in with a slick and an alt and a double barrel, well, then it's like, oh crap. You know what I mean? But like, you're very easy to kill as well. But it's exactly that. It's like, if I'm bringing a 500,000 ruble kit, I have to win so many times to net positive on that kit. But if you bring it, that you don't have to. Like, you can win 5% of the time and still come out way ahead. You know what I mean? I also think it's like so funny, the just like absolute dog nuts argument, which is like, countering shotguns is easy. Just shoot them at range. Like,
until you're in like dorms or you're playing factory.
It's like, that assumes you like know where every single person is at all times and what gun they're using. That's the thing about shotguns. By the time you know they're running one, you're dead or they're dead. 98% of the time. They're like, there's very few like, oh, he's got a shotgun, I'm not going to repeat that, I'll go this way. It's like, he was either in my face and I won the fight, or he was in my face and he won the fight. You know what I mean? It's like, that assumes you literally know where every enemy is at all times and know what they're running, so you know who to engage with range. It's like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. You know what I mean? Like,
it's uncounterable on 90% of the maps other than like woods. And I'm not never complaining about dying to shotgun on woods. It's in dorms, it's in factory, and even in labs I see people running. I saw my first hatchling. I saw
my first hatchling on woods the other day. It was like,
I mean, I've been seeing. Oh, actually, this is another thing. I actually talked to Nikita about this because I saw a really weird pattern all day yesterday and the day before. I would spawn in to factory and I would instantly hear a grenade go off, or I would just hear someone like, oh. And I'd run over and there'd be a level 48 with no gear and their dog tag just said died.
What?
I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then I had a few people send me a couple of links, and because I told Nikita at first, I'm like, dude, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but like, there seems to be a pattern of all of these high level people going in naked and then killing themselves, or just disconnecting. And then someone sent me a link to one of those cheat websites where they literally have scripts, automated scripts, where you could set it up overnight. It goes and clicks, blah, 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 enters you into a map, grabs a grenade or buys a grenade, spawns you in, throws it at the ground, you're dead, and brings you back in because... So let me actually pull up the fucking website. Yeah, it has a few things. lowers KD quickly.
Oh my god.
Levels up health and vitality, increases time in game. And it's all automated. Of course, it's like fucking $15 to $30 for, oh my god, a lifetime. So, oh my god, yeah. So let me tell you the conversation. So I told him the thing, and I was like, and he's like, that's strange. Okay, and I'm like, yeah, it's really bizarre. There was for like 2 days, there was 1 to 2 in every raid. I'm like, what is going on? Now I haven't seen any today.
Yeah.
And so he basically said some mystery that we don't know. So I was like, oh, and then I sent him the link to the website, and he's like, but why? And then I pasted the bullet point list of things with a video also of like the script. And he said, well, but why do they need a lower KD? And I said, probably because they use other cheats and they don't want it to be blatant.
Yep.
And I said, there's lots of them out there because there's a million bots, suicide bots, stop manual bans. And he's like, that's bullshit. We don't look at KD. Like he's straight. I don't think he was lying.
I don't think he's lying. The only thing I can think of is I know for a fact that cheaters can see people's KD. And so they might want to not appear as cheaters to other cheaters.
Well, yeah, I mean, while that's true, if you look, I'm looking at a link from one of the websites, and it's literally says, keep your KD down. Like the title is "Stop Manual Bans,"
or that's the
keep
thing.
Your survival rate and your KD low, because they think that it
could straight up be a freaking hustle by this guy.
I mean, $40 per wipe.
You know what I mean? Like if he can convince the cheaters that his thing helps them cheat longer when it doesn't at all, my man is out there making fat stacks.
and I mean that the best part is that, like, how do you even disprove it?
Yeah.
If they don't ban you, then it's almost like
if they don't,
it's almost like I sell you a magic pill.
Yes.
That you're not going to get cancer.
Yes.
It's way more likely that they just don't get cancer anyway, and then they'll be like, this magic pill works.
Yeah.
You know,
or you never want to. People, there's like a term for it, a psychological term for it. You never want to admit that you're wrong, so you're always willing to stretch the fantasy a little bit farther. If you don't get banned, you think it was money well spent. If you do get banned, you think it's because BSG found the cheat another way. So it was money well spent either way to you. And like, oh my God.
Yeah, so he said, we don't look at KD, that's bullshit. And I'm like, people aren't very smart. Indeed. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. But I just thought that it just came to mind and was worth mentioning.
Snake oil on tap, dude. That's
I mean, that's the thing, is that, like, imagine if you're spending $150 for a cheat. I can basically sell you any fucking bolt. Like, if you believe in energy crystals, I can also sell you the Vortex Tour. And, you know, like, the fucking, at that point, you have basically said, I'm the most gullible person on earth. You know?
It's so true. It's so true. It's so true. Yep. Dude.
Anyway, so did you end up seeing the history of Tarkov video? Like, was there anything?
I haven't been able to watch it. I'm so sad. I love those videos, dude. It's just like I haven't had an hour yet to sit down and watch it. But this is the one I've been the most excited for because you're covering.
It's 0.8.
Yes, and
through the end of 0.10, which is 2018.
Yeah. I came in 0.9 and like I saw the title was The Flea Market Changes Everything. So like this is the one I've been the most excited about, which is like what was happening when I was playing the game, me being able to come in on the tail end of like quote unquote legacy Tarkov, the pre-flea market, and then to hear you talk about that moment and like the shenanigans around the first iteration of the flea. This is the one I've been waiting for since you started this series. I'm so excited to watch it.
Yeah, so to give a quick, like, I can just go through some of the chapters in the description to give you an idea. So patch 0.8, I talk about magazine reloading.
Yeah.
Face hitbox and ricochet chance was added. Interchange and ragman was added. That's when the first kind of iteration of the gamma pistol glitch happened. And then I have highlights for patch 0.8. And then, so 0.9 was when paid exfils were added, Reshala was added, flashbangs and smokes were added. And I talk about like flashbangs. Remember when flashbangs came out, they had the same noise when they hit the ground as frag grenades, and they basically popped instantly. You would throw it, pop. So basically, you would either be blinded instantly with no way of countering it. Like in Counter-Strike, you can turn, whatever. There was no way to counter it. And also, when they throw it, if they threw it directly at the ground, you'd be like, oh, fuck, and you'd run away, and it would be like, oh, it wasn't a frag.
Yep.
So it was just really fucking annoying.
Like an impact flash grenade.
Yeah. That's when scav leg meta was a thing. So then I talk about my video that like debunked scav leg meta, and was basically like, that was the first iteration of like Veritas science, was me being like, something's wrong here. So then after that, we were all excited for the Mosin. Everybody was stoked for the Mosin. Like, oh my God, for some reason, and then patch 10 came out, and it was like the worst release day ever. There was just error after error after error, all kinds of bugs and all kinds of whatever. But they came out with a bunch of quality of life improvements. That's when they came out with weapon retention. So when you got in someone's face, it wasn't gun up in the air. It was
straight up in the air. Yep.
It shows me like there's a pillar in dorms, and I'm like here, and then when I lean, it was like pulls it in, out, pulls it in, out. So after the mechanics were added, it was pretty dope. The interchange roof glitch that like Cotton like popularized with his video. The dolphin diving bug, I have a clip of. It took me forever to find, by the way.
Really?
I could find one video that was like an unlisted video, and there was nobody on Reddit really talking about it. I just remember it being like a thing, where you'd prone, get up, prone, get up, prone, get up, and you just see people, a three-man squad laying into this naked dude, and he's just going laying out, and he was invincible because his hitbox is like 20 feet underground.
Oh my God.
That was the first time where they said, oh, we fixed zeroing an FOV when it wasn't fixed. So they added a hotkey for examining items. No, actually, wait. I don't think they added that until later. That's when examining items was extra annoying, especially because they added the handbook then too. So you had all the and there was no way to clear the badge unless you went, clicked expand, and clicked on everything. So that just shed more light on the fact that examining required right click, examine, right click, examine. Scab bosses were totally broken and mega OP, which is basically like the default for all of the advanced AI right now. That was and after that was the item discard glitch. So what would happen is if you were hovering over an item and then backed out of your inventory and then opened your inventory and you discarded another item, it would discard everything that you would highlight.
I remember that.
So there's a clip of a guy in an offline raid. He's got one of those, the rigs, whatever the meta was for that rig in your gamma.
Oh, yeah, the Vortex. Yep.
So he had a bunch of shit. It was like shotgun shells and bandages. And you see him hover over the thing, back out, hover, back out, hover, back out, hover, back out. And then he went and hit discard on the shotgun shells, and all 8 items discarded. And I show a clip of me talking about like back in the day, the 310 shoreline key spawning in the customs bus. It was like my first raid of the patch. I fucking found the 310 key. It was like, oh my God. And I have an old highlight video where it's like rip 310 key, September 28th to September 28th, because that raid, I lost the key. I literally found it and then discarded it on the first raid of the wipe because of that fucking bug.
Oh my God.
But yeah, so there was that. That's when the press kit was removed, and I actually talk about the press kit for like 5 minutes about how like everybody was butthurt for like the wrong reasons. That's when they added the MP7, when they added the Mosin. Then zeroing an FOV said was fixed, was still not fixed. They nerfed scavs. The Mosin ended up being terrible. Then medical consumable animations. Then the flea market, and pretty much the rest of the video, like 20 minutes, is about the flea market. So it was
what a year.
Yeah, so it basically what I talk about is how it used to be finding rare items or quest items before the flea. You needed to go into raids. I basically said the 4 ways. Your friends drop it for you. You need to go in raids and find them, or you buy them from traders, or Fence, which actually had use,
Yep.
at the time, because
You
people
could
used to
find
sell their
stuff.
epsilons and shit even on Fence. But and then after the flea market, basically how the flea market changed the game, as well as a lot of the issues, priority sales, all the scams with priority sales.
Oh my God, yeah.
How you need to scroll through 10 pages before you'd get to like a white sale and not a gold sale.
Yep. And then there was the countdown, the 10-second countdown. So you'd have to,
I teased that. I basically said, because I also talk about flea market, the market bot and macro conspiracy.
Oh my God.
And I basically said, I'm going to explain how this was all mostly bullshit.
Yep.
I'm still not convinced that there was more than like 12 bots.
Yeah.
Because but basically we ended up with a whole bunch of annoying changes like the CAPTCHA and all that stuff, which still annoys us just as much as it annoys the scripts.
Yep.
And I just realized how easy it would be to write a script to get past the fucking CAPTCHA. I mean, all you need to do is be able to identify, like, the reason why CAPTCHAs work is because you can't easily have like image recognition on a blurry, jagged set of characters or whatever, but it's trivial to add recognition to 300 specific things.
Yeah.
And then with a little bit of OCR, which is optical character recognition. So it could be like, it says you want me to find the golden clocks, and then just look for the golden click. So it's just annoying if you happen to click buy. Oh, I'm building a gun and I had to buy everything individually or whatever. So yeah.
Dude, I used to, me and my buddy used to spend hours just chilling on the flea market, buying low and selling high. 3M armors, ammo. Dude, it was nuts. I would just sit on the 3M armor because nothing was found in raid yet. You could buy something off the flea and use it for a quest. I would just try and snipe any low 3M armors and I'd relist them, and I would just freaking print money.
Yeah, so I talk also about, so Pestily in the first like 48 hours demonstrated that you can completely manipulate the market. At the time, initially when it started, there was dynamic pricing. So the pricing of traders.
Yes.
So
I forgot about this.
This was totally broken, because what would happen is when the trader would reset, the price wouldn't initially reset, but what you could get when you sold it would. So what Pestily did is he grabbed some like fucking 9x18 round that nobody uses and sold them millions of these bullets, because you could just buy him infinite, him and like 300 community members, for 100,000 rubles a round. And then it got to the point where you could buy that bullet from Prapor for like 30 rubles and then instantly turn around and sell it to Mechanic for 90 rubles. So between that and him racing, because he got to level 40 in one day, getting Salewa's getting, and I actually Googled it because I've been saying Salua forever, but I did the little Google thing and it's Salewa.
Salewa, yeah, I keep being told that, but Salua for life.
Yeah. So so it was that, it was morphine and the 60 round mags, and he made 3.5 billion rubles in one day. And then I didn't actually talk about this in the video, but Nikita, that's when Nikita put limits on those items, which didn't solve the problem, because then rather than having 3 people all selling an infinite amount, you had 7,000 people all selling 3.
Yes.
It was still the same price gouging.
Yeah.
But Nikita then came in after he put those things and said, make the money disappear.
Yeah, stop it.
So I think he gave a bunch out and then he deleted a bunch too, which actually kind of sucks, because you fucked the whole market, because that money came from other people's stashes.
Yeah.
So it was essentially like the opposite of printing money. He burned the money.
And he made all that money underselling, because like it was him and only a few other people that had access to the Saluas, and everybody else was selling the Saluas for like 75,000 rubles a pop. And he would just sell them for like 30,000 rubles a pop. It was still way overpriced for a Salua, but he was still printing money.
Well, that was afterwards. By the time he got to the 60 round mags that like Prapor, he was selling those for a reasonable price. But he was the first one to get. He was selling the Soleil was for 100,000 and the Morphines for 100,000.
Dude,
and people would be like, it's so much easier to just spend 100,000 and be done with your quest than to have to go to Shoreline 10 times to find, because that used to be the only way. Shoreline first floor was where you found medical items.
Yeah, there's so many medical spawns on customs. Not how it used to be, bro. It was Shoreline first floor if you wanted medical items.
That was it, or you'd have to get amazingly lucky and have it spawn in like a scav's.
Yeah, there was that
whatever.
trunk on
Woods
on customs at the sniper scav, like that little tower, the trunk of the car.
You'd also get like a 213 key or something that would spawn in
that's
there.
Like maybe there's a silhouette in there, and that's like your option on customs. You know what I mean? Like,
and that trunk was always fucking open.
Always, yeah.
Just everybody would run to that one spot. Yeah. So I talk about the market manipulation and all that stuff, and the item scalpers. So there's what I liked a lot about this was I would talk about a bunch of things, and then I would do like a montage, like a 2-3 minute montage. So for like 0.8, for 0.9, and then for like everything, and at the end there's a bunch of clips. There's a lot of clips. Most of the clips that until the outro montage was just me and Deadly, because there wasn't a lot of people making YouTube content about specific things. There was like a lot of highlight stuff. It was easy to go to like Joshua Guz basically, and he, like I talked to him before the last one, and I'm like, dude, you have all the highlights. None of the Twitch clips exist anymore because they've all been deleted. So I'm like, can I just use like most of the? And he was like, yeah, dude. So I just have a link in my description, like thanks to him. Yeah, that's why you see like the yellow name all over the place. All I did is cut out the static that he puts in between the transitions. But yeah, I mean, like when I wanted to find like Mosin highlights, it was like Deadly had like the first day of the raid, the wipe, he had like 7 Mosins in one like wood spawn. There's just not a lot of. Like Markstrom had a bunch of videos, but they were usually him like talking over the gameplay, and it's like I can't put that in a montage. And then like Anton was doing a lot more of like armor testing stuff back then than like talking about like guns and stuff like that. Yeah, and then Clean had a bunch of videos, but they almost always had like AC/DC or something playing in the background, and I already have like music to go along. So there's like disproportionately me and Deadly. It's hard though, but it's like, because I know if I want to find a specific thing, I know which video it's in. Even going back 3 or 4 years, but it's like try finding. You know, most of the videos, if I search for like Mosin highlights, they're from like 0.11. You know, or whatever, and it's like, well, I can't really show that. It doesn't demonstrate what it was like at the time. It just goes back, man, to like what we've talked about before, where it's like the rose-colored glasses, man. The quote-unquote good old days. You know, so many people want to be like, man, like I wish Tarkov would go back to the good old days before the flea market, before it got too popular. And it's like, dude, you just told me that there was a glitch in the game where hatchlings could make themselves invincible with the dolphin dive. Can you imagine? Like, nothing we deal with today is as bad as a hatchling making himself invincible. Other than I also talk about the factory door glitch. Oh yeah, dude. I talk about that too, because you were invincible. Dude, the good old days. There were a few factory door glitches in the history of Tarkov. Like there was one up in the breach room, and then the one near gate 3. Yeah, dude. Like it's once again, like I'm not trying to harp. I get that Tarkov has its problems now. I get that some of these problems harken all the way back to that, like audio problems and AI problems. But it's like, yeah, dude, freaking invincibility glitches, invisibility glitches, being able to fall through the floor and level your entire soft skills, you know, get that OP elite strength in 2 raids. And it's just so funny. People are like, I miss the good old days, man. It's just like, what are you talking about? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I say that often, but it's usually, there are a lot of people that disagree, and they're like, lol, like that fucking fight took 9 million bullets, like so fucking bad, you know, that's Call of Duty. Yeah. But then at the same time, it was like, I had the most fun when, like there's one of the really good example of this is the clip where I have a few War on clips. So when the MP7 first came out, this is in like the MP7 montage, where he's running along the 3rd floor in factory, comes to the top of the stairs, and a dude's barreling up the stairs, and he goes every single thing in the face. He's like, he's got an alt-in. He backs up, has to reload, and then he in one leg, and the guy goes down. But it's like, it was so much more fun, and I'll say this till I die. I'm not necessarily advocating that they change it. Yeah. but I'm just saying I enjoyed it more when the time to kill and the armor, like time to kill was much longer, and armor was much more effective, because the fights lasted 3 times longer, which meant you were playing the game longer.
Yeah.
And it also meant that the better player was more likely to win.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's like I'm going to be able to hit more shots than you over a 3-second period.
Yeah.
That takes more skill than everybody dies in one shot. Then it's a coin flip, which I've talked about a million times. So I really liked that. But, you know, again, there's been a lot of things that have been way improved, you know, over the course of the game. But that was what I enjoyed the most about old Tarkov.
And that makes sense. That makes sense. I get that. And I would actually even agree. I wasn't like back then you were running factory all day, absolutely dominating. Back then I was crouch walking through customs looking for my first Salua because that .9 was my first wipe, you know what I mean? So I was brand new to the game, so I didn't get to experience that in the way you got to experience that. Like if you told me today that they're testing out, you know, a longer TTK on the ETS, I'd play that nonstop. Like I would love to try that out. I'd love to experience that. I'm not saying we shouldn't, but it's just, I don't know. It's just funny when people ignore all the other stuff from the good old days and they just want the one thing. But I get it, and I think, like I said, I'd be super interested to try maybe a middle ground and try and like increase the time to kill a little bit. I don't know.
I just posted something in chat real quick because I know we're gonna be wrapping up pretty soon. But everybody was talking about found in raid.
Oh my god, I love this diagram.
Have you seen this before?
I love this diagram. Yes.
Yeah,
it's my favorite thing.
It's I need to make a command for it. I have like a found in raid command, but I guess it probably points to like my video, I think, with like a timestamp. But it's basically my new answer for people when they ask me why I think the found in raid feature is silly. Because, you know, people say found in raid is great, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it's not that I have a problem with found, like conceptually found in raid. It's that 90% of the items that are found in raid aren't actually found in raid. So this, of course, the software engineer made a fucking flow chart where crafted in hideout was found in raid. If you got it from a trader as a quest reward, it's found in raid. If it was an if you got it so then there's all those things, and then it was you actually found an item in raid. Was it brought in by a PMC? It's not found in raid. Did you extract with the item? It's not found in raid. Did you survive? It's not found in raid. Did you earn greater than 200 XP? It's not found in raid. Did you spend 7 minutes in a raid? It's not found in raid. Did you take that item into a raid? It's not found in raid. So, have you taken that item since you picked it up into raid? So it was like a small, tiny percentage of the items that you actually found in raid, aren't found in raid. And then there's a whole host of other ones that are found in raid. So that's why it just shows how fucking, like, it should be, did you find the item in raid? Yup. Found in raid. You know what I mean? And then all the other cases should handle everything else. So it should be found in raid, not from a friend or whatever, right? Like that should be a separate property on the item. And then certain quests should have certain things, like they could do cool things with quests where a friend can drop you an item. Maybe that's a requirement. You have to find somebody to give you something, you know, like they could do so many cool things by redefining found in raid.
Exactly.
And then having a whole bunch of other things like found in raid, but they all actually were what they were called. Given by friend, found in raid, purchased from flea market, crafted,
in the
whatever.
hideout. Yep, for sure.
So anyway.
For sure. And it's and the whole system was engineered around gamification, and it's engineered around
it was the flea market issue that
it was, everything was just engineered around, like there's no like lore, you know what I mean? Like we've talked about this before. You run in and you get you know, we want dynamic loot, right? Like everyone's like dynamic loot, dynamic loot. I want dynamic loot. You know, let's say you've been grinding for your whatever it is. Maybe it's your morphine, maybe it's your evasion arband for Kappa, no matter what it is. Dynamic loot, you find it immediately. You spawn near a stash, you find it. Can't run to an extract. You know what I mean? Like, that's not found in raid. You haven't spent 7 minutes or gotten 200 XP. And that's crazy. You know what I mean? It's like, no, it's like the game, like I got lucky. The RNG was in my favor. I spawned near a thing. I got it. I want to get out. And it's like, there was no lore behind like why you need to stay in raid that long. Like the whole system was engineered purely from a like, oh no, with this feature we added, don't break our game, please. And that's the flea market. And so it was just, and they could have saved themselves a whole lot if they just named it sellable and not sellable. Because then you can kind of do whatever you want around that. But they named it found in raid, and then half of the things you found in raid aren't found in raid.
Yeah, I mean,
even if all the things you get outside of raid are found in raid.
Yeah, the problem is that even if they called it sellable, right? Well, then it's, why is this not sellable? You wouldn't know, right? So that's why they just need to be explicit about the thing. You can sell things on the flea market that you took from scavs or that you looted. Imagine if it was looted in raid. Because if you looted it in raid, you know, I don't even know what they would call it, but I guarantee you there's like 1 to 3 word phrase that can describe everything.
Yeah.
But like if you found it in raid and you accidentally forgot to remove it, dude, I fucked up. I decided recently, just because I've been playing factory so much, that I put all my factory, basically my factory key in my key bar. I only have one key bar.
Yeah.
And then I've been taking in my dog tag case. Because before I used to hit insure all, but now I don't, because it's so expensive. So now it's like because I used to end up spending so much money insuring
dog
all
tags
of my which would also fuck up the insure screen, because I would have hundreds of insured items and it would just freeze on that screen because it displays everything. I had like 2 level 55 bear dog tags in my container for that fucking quest to get 20 level 50, and I went into a raid again. I'm like, no, like,
dude,
fuck, dude. I was devastated. That's like 2 more weeks it's going to take me to replace those fucking dog tags. And all I've been doing is killing level 47. I'm like, you fucking, like, you couldn't have been 4 levels higher. It's so frustrating. I'm close. Well, I'm not close, but I'm making progress on that particular quest. I have 15 of 20 USEC tags and 3 bear dog tags.
No, I did that.
That's my rant.
Dude, that graph is so good. It's so good.
I just updated my !FIR. Commands.
I'm gonna make that a command in my chat too. It's so good. It's such a good diagram. But yeah, man, at the end of the day, I'm super excited to watch the History of Tarkov video. It's great. I don't know, it just reminds me that game's been experiencing issues for a long time, but it's fun. It's super crazy to see. I'm, like I said, super excited for this one because this is my History of Tarkov video. But yeah, man. Oof.
I'm gonna go get Kappa.
Dude, you really are. Like, you really could get it tonight if you grinded for it.
I think it'll probably more likely be tomorrow.
How many do you have left for calibration?
The
100-meter shots.
8.
Okay.
So I could do that in 3 to 4 woods raids.
Depending.
I need to bring a rangefinder.
If you had like 2 or 3 left, you could complete that tonight, and then 1 good raid, and you get the Reap IR plant done, and that's 220,000 XP.
Yeah, and I only need 300. So.
Oh, all right, man. Well, dude, good luck. I'm a goose whisper away from 58. I got 2.5 levels basically. I got to get to 60, and then from 61.5 to 62. So I'll be a week or 2 behind you. But yeah, dude, good cast. A lot of cool stuff. And yeah, the Raider event. There was a bunch of like lore stuff that may or may not be. Speaking of a patch incoming, that would be kind of cool, but who knows?
Yep.
But at the end of the day, thank you guys for hanging. Appreciate y'all being here. This will be live on all the platforms on Monday. And thanks for hanging. We'll definitely see you on the next one.
Peace.